Let's be honest, loneliness sucks. Loneliness has been something that I've struggled with for years. As far back as I can remember, I've struggled with this problem of feeling alone, and it would come in waves. Like every now and then I would be hit with a wave of loneliness, and then I would be rendered useless for like weeks. I would just feel shitty, didn't have motivation to do anything, wouldn't want to talk to anybody. It got so bad that it hurt physically. Like I was so lonely that it hurt me physically, and I wouldn't want to wish that upon anyone. And the thing that frustrated me the most about loneliness is there were no solutions. Everything that I found online was either vague, general advice, not super actionable, or didn't work. So I want to change that. In this video, we're going to break down what loneliness is. I'm going to give you a short-term solution on how to fix it so you can stop feeling like shit right now, and then a long-term solution so that you can sustainably scale this over time, so you just stop feeling lonely and you basically don't have to think about this problem anymore. So let's jump in. So as with any problem, before we jump into solutions, we need to understand why the problem happens. And the best answer that I've come to in my experience is that you feel lonely because you are not connected to the world. And there's a really good analogy for this that I've come up with. I call it the balloon brick analogy. Imagine you are a balloon. There are bricks that tie you down and keep you connected to this world. These bricks include things like friends, family, religion, pets, a long-term partner. When you feel lonely, it's because you're like a balloon and you're floating away, and there's nothing that keeps you grounded or connected to this world. So even though you might feel like you have a bunch of followers on Instagram or a bunch of friends on Facebook, you might still feel lonely because you don't really interact with or talk to these people on like a really meaningful level. At least that is what it felt like for me. So the why behind why you feel lonely is because you're not connected to this world. And the high-level solution to this is grounded connection. So you want to create connections that keep you attached or tethered to this world. And how you do that is through relationships. So in the beginning, I said I would give you a short-term solution and a long-term solution. So let's talk about the short-term solution first. This solution is what got me from feeling like shit for weeks, like 1 to 2 weeks, to 1 to 2 days. And this is something that you can apply immediately right now if you wanted to. So the short-term solution is what I call connectedness journaling. And this idea that I came up with was inspired by gratitude journaling. And the way it works is very, very simple. You just fill in the prompt, I feel connected to blank. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay, why does this work? To answer that question, I'll go back to gratitude journaling. So gratitude journaling, in case you guys don't know, is you just fill in the prompt, I feel grateful for blank. And the entire reason why we do gratitude journaling is so that we can install this gratitude perk in our head so that gratitude becomes subconscious. Like we all know gratitude is great, but how great would it be if instead of having to write down, I am grateful for blank every single day, you just have it automatically installed inside your head so that when you go out on a walk and it's sunny, you just think to yourself automatically, it's like a subconscious thought. You're like, oh, I am really grateful that it is sunny today. So if you use the same concept with connectedness journaling, the whole point behind connectedness journaling is for you to install this connectedness perk inside your head, where whenever you're hanging out with friends or whenever you're talking to someone, you're like, you know what? I feel really connected to this person. Because the sense of loneliness, going back to the balloon brick analogy, is because you don't really feel connected to this world. You don't really feel connected to people. There's not a ton of strong relationships or connections that you have. And for most people, I think you do have connections. You might not realize that you do, though. So connectedness journaling is a very quick way to start all this. You just do it every day. I did it for months. It took my recovery time from 1 to 2 weeks to 1 to 2 days, which is incredibly useful if you have a busy life and if this problem affects you consistently, which it did for me. Randomly, at times, I would just get hit with waves of loneliness and I'm like, great, I want to do things, but now I can't. So this is the short-term solution. Apply this. Let me know what you think and let me know if it works for you. Comment below. Let's move on to the long-term solution, because as great as connectedness journaling is, it's not going to help you solve this problem of loneliness forever. We want to just not have to think about this and basically not have the problem even pop up or occur. So let's jump into the long-term solution. So this is where we need to talk about the bricks. The long-term solution at a very high level to solve loneliness is to establish bricks in your life to tie to your balloon, going back to the balloon brick theory or analogy, so that you are consistently grounded and feel connected to the world. So the 6 bricks that I've identified so far are yourself. So that's the relationship you have with yourself and how connected to yourself you feel. Family, so that's like your immediate family members, your mom, your dad, sister, brother, etc. Friends, and I'm not talking about any friends. I'm talking about really, really close friends, best friends, friends that you can hit up when shit hits the fan. Pets, a partner, and then also a religion. So you can see that with these bricks, the reason why they're bricks is because they provide you a consistent source of grounded connection. That's why I said close friends for friends, because if you're not close friends, then you can't hit them up. So if you're connecting the dots here, the more of these bricks that you have, the lower your chances of feeling lonely will be. And if you ever do get hit with a wave of loneliness, then you can rely on one of these methods. You can call up a friend, you can call up a family member in order to help support you and help get you out of that funk. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, this analogy is great, these bricks are great, but what do I choose to establish first? How do I get these bricks? Well, my answer to that is gonna be, it depends on your situation. But at a high level, you want to pick the brick that you can get the fastest, because if this problem affects you on a day-to-day basis, you want a quick solution that will work for you long term. So for example, if you are religious, then you have religion that you can rely on. If you can get a pet, then go get a pet. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what if I can't get any of these? Like, what if family isn't really an option for me? What if I don't have a lot of close friends? What if I can't get a pet because of finances or my living situation? What if I don't have a partner? What if I'm not religious? Because if you're not religious, you're kind of out of luck. Excellent question. That was the case for me. I didn't have a partner at the time. Family wasn't really an option. I didn't have close friends. So the only thing that you're really left with is yourself, the relationship you have with yourself. And this is one of the hardest but most scalable things that you can work on. This yourself brick is something that once you get, you'll have forever, because all these other things like your family, your significant other, it relies on other people and you cannot control other people. So as much as I would love to say, go find a long-term partner or go establish better relationships with your family, those relationships are difficult and complex and will highly vary from person to person. But the relationship that you have with yourself is something that is fully in your control. And if you get the hang of this, you'll be able to rely on it and use it throughout the rest of your life. So this can be a whole separate video. If you're interested, I can make a separate video on this to kind of give you like a sneak peek into this. I did things like go to the movies by myself, go to a restaurant by myself, which were very scary to do at the start, mind you. But I learned a lot from doing those things. And so that's what I started out with personally. I personally tried to get the yourself brick, so really figure out that relationship with myself. And then I slowly worked on other parts of this list as well. I found a close friend because I put myself out there and met a lot of people. And I definitely plan on getting some of these other bricks next as well. So that's the whole strategy behind how to solve loneliness. It's what I've learned over years of just trial and error and having to deal with this problem over and over and over again. So here it all is wrapped up in one nice video. So to recap, you feel lonely because you are not connected to this world. How you solve that is through being connected to this world through the form of relationships. The short-term solution for this is use connectedness journaling to remind yourself that you are actually connected to people, and to install this subconscious connectedness perk in your head so that as you go throughout your day, you feel connected to the people and the things that you interact with. And the longer term solution is you obtain these bricks that tie down the balloon that is you to this world so that you feel consistently connected. That's my breakdown for this whole complex problem of loneliness. As I mentioned before, I could do separate videos on each of the bricks, especially the yourself brick, since that's the most important. And to really drive this point home and to illustrate how important that brick is, I am going to read out a tweet. The longest relationship you'll ever be in is the one with yourself. So figure that one out first before adding another. All right, that is it for this video. I hope you learned something. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.